Hello? Hello? I don't, can you all hear this quite clearly? Okay. Thank you. We bought the PA system because we think one or two people might want to say a few words. So if you do, just please come up or raise your hands. Obviously it's a vigil tonight, and I really appreciate everybody coming. And the guys at Hull Royal Infirmary have transferred theirs from the Friday to the Sunday, but they still kept up their weekly vigil, which has been amazing. So I think I'll just start off. I've just wrote a few words down, and then if anybody else wants to speak, just put your hands up, and by all means come up and say your piece. All of you tonight, I am sure, are in despair and anguish and hopelessness for the citizens of the Gaza Strip. It makes your whole body and mind ache with torment for those who are left to face the evils of the world. There are many sickening stories of death, injury, depravity, from which we shield our eyes to avoid social media or the news, or just to maintain our sanity. Everywhere within this tiny strip of land, 25 miles long and 6 miles wide, containing 2.3 million people, there has been a callous disregard for all that should be held as sacrosanct in any respectable and moral society. The bombing of schools, hospitals, universities, UN-safe compounds, refugee tents. In fact, there is nowhere Israel will not bomb, or no one they cannot kill in the war crime of Gaza. There is nothing we haven't seen in the war crime of Gaza. The mother who's asked at the point of a gun, are terrorists here? Child in hand, home flattened, no food or dignity or safe refuge. She thinks, well, what am I looking at? But more importantly to her, she thinks, where are my other children? Where are my relatives? Where shall I go now? Hell is all around. In the haze of her mind, it can clear even for a few seconds. She thinks, where will I get water? Where will I get food? Where will I get medicine? Where is there a roof to cover my babies from the rain? If there are no F-16 screaming jets or no military shells exploding for an hour, she can think, what shall I do tomorrow? Where shall I move to? What was the last instruction given to me? Do I move north? Do I move south? Do I move east or west? If I make a mistake, death is just an explosion away. She has no luxury for thoughts for the future. She must concentrate on the question, are there any terrorists here? The world continues to view the genocide with ambiguity, many with complicity. This will change, this must change. If not, what are we to become in the 21st century? What have our children to look forward to? It is you here tonight, and at the Humber Bridge March, and at the vigils outside Hull Royal Infirmary every Friday, and those protesting in the UK and around the world that give me hope, energy and determination to continue until this abomination, this stain on humanity is removed and the Palestinians are left to live in peace, dignity and freedom. Thank you.
These actually aren't my words, but some words that I found very moving. You say the pictures aren't real. Those children climbed under rubble, played dead for the photograph. That man, girl, baby, doctor, not real. I want you to write. I want Gaza to embalm herself and kill her children, unearth her houses and do her genocide. I want to say those pictures aren't real.
I lived as a Muslim for 15 years, and these days I'm not particularly religious, but my children are Muslim, and I think a lot about my brothers and sisters who are in Palestine at the moment. And I'd like to share with you a prayer which I prayed as a Muslim 5 times a day for those years. It's part of the Quran, and I hope that any Muslims here aren't offended by me saying it. It's called Al-Fatiha. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين.
Now, thank you very much. I think that's it. If we just all take time to reflect and leave our thoughts with the people of Gaza. Thank you. Bruce just mentioned that you are all invited to attend the weekly vigil outside Hull Royal Infirmary on Gladstone Street. It starts at 6:30, it lasts about an hour. People have supported that since October when this all started. So over 50 weeks, so it'd be great to get some more support. Thank you.
There was a Radio 4 programme so after the news slot, 1 to 2, about a music teacher from Gaza who taught at the Conservatoire and talked about his experiences of losing his home and that sort of stuff. And it was in the street next to him that the guy who was killed and left in the street till the cats started eating him.
That was today?
No, the programme was today, yeah. So I sort of caught it just as I came over on the bridge. But they eventually got back to the music school, which Israeli forces had been in. Every single musical instrument was destroyed except for the grand piano, which they cut some of the strings, but they didn't, it survived. And he
Hi everyone, just had a few words to say. Thank you for everyone who did join us earlier this morning on the bridge walk. I think we sent out a very strong message to the people of Hull, those who were driving past and were able to see. What I want to read out today was something that I prepared, but I was hoping there'd be in a bit more of a public setting, because I don't really feel that we need to hear this. I feel that those who are still sitting on the fence need to hear it. So it's 385 days of children being maimed, shot at, heads blown off, split into half, burnt alive to death, completely evaporated, starved to death, deprived of life-saving medication and equipment, deprived of oxygen, amputated and or orphaned. And I say children because out of the 1.3 million displaced, 610,000 are children or were children for the ones who have since been killed as early as this morning alone. Thousands of children had to close their eyes just for us to even try to open ours. And yet we have so many who still refuse to see this for exactly what it is. There is no argument or debate about the live genocide we are witnessing, which has now spilt over across to Lebanon, Iran. It is evidently clear it's a mass extermination of indigenous people whose land it is and will always belong to, forever stained in their own blood, where the very ground on soil has given them refuge to their children, grandparents, spouses, siblings, neighbours and friends. And yet, those are just the lucky ones who are able to be buried and identified. If only the land could really speak to tell the true details of the horrors it has witnessed and to declare who truly owns it. If only the ground could swallow up the oppressors. If only. We stand here again, just like we have stood for many years, feeling absolutely powerless. And feeling helpless is no good for our dear friends in humanity. They have shown us what resilience is. And we must do the Palestinians, the Lebanese, Assyrians, all of those who are oppressed, the absolute service of continuing to share their story, share their horrors, share their pain, continue boycotting, influence others to boycott. If we stop, then the Palestinians have absolutely no one, and we break their hope. We will be responsible for breaking their hope, not the Zionists. And perhaps by sharing and amplifying their voices, there may be the one amongst us who spearheads justice. We should hope just as much as the Palestinians, the Lebanese, the Syrians, and all those oppressed have hope. Bad days do not last forever, and victory and peace will come, just as it did for South Africa and others. Because in our thousands, in our millions,
We are all Palestinians.